What's going on, Broncos country? Welcome on into the Broncos Breakdown. Matthew Peterson here, running through some of the mock drafts out there after the NFL Combine. I thought it might be useful to you guys to take all the mock drafts, consolidate it, and break it down for everyone watching. So, before we jump into our first mock draft reaction, I was looking over the YouTube analytics for the month of March so far, and we've gotten 1,500 plus likes so far on the channel. The Raiders report here at Chat Sports is edging us out by about 300 likes. So make sure to hit that thumbs up button today and every time you tune into a video so we can beat the Raiders report in likes for the month of March. Let's get into our mock draft roundup, though, starting with ESPN, who had safety Nick Emmanwori going to Denver at pick number 20. This is not a new name if you've been keeping up with Broncos mock drafts since the end of the season, but it's not as common as some of the other names, which can be a kind of a nice breath of fresh air a little bit to not hear the same names over and over again. Now, here's what Jordan Reid said about his selection for the Paytons. He best projects as a strong safety who can play linebacker sporadically. That versatility allows him to roam the box and use his physicality against the run. He can also match up with running backs and tight ends in coverage. Now, Emmanwori, I thought, had a really impressive NFL Combine. From a pure athletic testing standpoint, the guy had an incredible RAS, relative athletic score, 10. Now, that's always relative, right? So those numbers can change a little bit from time to time. But Emmanwori, he had no questions about his physical traits during his week in Indianapolis. Now, as for the tape itself, the on-the-field production side of things here, he showed an immense improvement from 2023 to 2024. This past year for the Gamecocks, he had 4 interceptions. 2 were returned for touchdowns. I don't know if he jumps out to me as a coverage god, and that's probably why he's not looked at like when Jamal Adams was coming out of LSU as a comparable safety. But the man is built like a linebacker and moves like a safety. 6'3", 220 pounds. So he's got the ability to hang out in the box and take down running backs, shed blockers, but also has the ability to hang out with tight ends and receivers in coverage. The playmaking abilities are there. He's just not viewed as a complete package safety, meaning someone who is outstanding at everything. Maybe it's a lot of good or great, but not elite. We're still talking about a guy who's going to go round 1, but not someone who is viewed as a no-doubter safety for the, no-doubter, like, do-it-all guy for the Broncos. So who is your number 1 draft target? Let me know in the comment section below who the number 1 guy is for yourself on your own big board. Is it Emmanwori? Is it Ashton Jeanty? Is it Tyler Warren? Scroll on down and let me know. Speaking of Ashton Jeanty, he is the next guy up. CBS Sports had Jeanty falling all the way to 20 and being the selection for George and Sean Payton. So I wouldn't say break down Ashton Jeanty as a prospect, 'cause I think at this point we're all pretty familiar with he's a bona fide superstar at the next level. I think he is going to be a perennial Pro Bowl running back who has 8 to 10 very good seasons, quality, great seasons, whatever adjective you want to use, and whatever team drafts him is going to be very, very happy with that pick. I'm not going to say there's a 0% chance that he falls all the way to 20 because we are talking about one of the most unpredictable things in sports, the NFL draft. I will say, though, after a week in Indianapolis, I'd be surprised if he falls to 20. Surprises do happen in the draft, so I'm not going to say there's a 0% chance. But if you really want Jeanty, you're likely going to have to trade up to get him. Maybe Denver does that. Sean Payton made plenty of draft trades when in New Orleans. Time will tell. I won't say there's a 0% chance on this one as well of a trade up, but I'm not going to hold my breath on, let's make plan A, Ashton Jeanty falls to Denver at 20. That's probably going to be a little bit of a bonus, right? A nice surprise if that were to be the case. So there's a lot to like about Jeanty's game altogether, and I'm not going to hold my breath on him being there at 20. If he is, it's a home run. Now, before we get on to the rest of the mock drafts out there, I do want to tell everyone watching about our friends over at Prize Picks. You see, Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Basketball season is heating up, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action while watching your favorite teams. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. They also offer Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this season. So download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. All of that information is in the comments and description of today's video. Here's an example of some Prize Picks selections, taking them more on De'Aaron Fox while we're filming this during our live show every Tuesday, taking them more on Wendell Carter's rebounds, and taking them more on some shots on net as well. So download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. On to Dane Brugler from the Athletics mock draft, where he went with Omarion Hampton, UNC running back. A little bit of a new name in terms of Broncos mock drafts, because I'd say the most common names we see are Jeanty, Tyler Warren, and Colston Loveland. So here's a different running back that we can get to know a little bit. 6 foot, 221 pounds. Pretty solid performance at the combine from a physical testing standpoint. Ran a 4.46 40-yard dash. For a guy that's a bruising style back, he's got some wheels to him. I remember Audric Estime last year. He was a bulldozer of a running back, a bowling ball, and he ran like a 4.65-ish. So you're going to get someone like Estime when it comes to hard runner between the tackles, but more speed than that style of running back. Terrific back-to-back seasons at Chapel Hill. A lot of people were curious how he'd play in 2024 without Drake May attracting so much attention, and he didn't skip a beat pretty much. So there is no concern there that he was just a Drake May kind of merchant. He was a big-time winner at the Combine, though. If you didn't catch much of it, he was a riser because he showed that he is fast, and the tape showed us he is physical. And usually there's a trade-off of you can be physical, but you're kind of a slow running back, or you can be really fast, but you're not super physical. I won't say Omarion Hampton's the perfect blend of those two. That's Derrick Henry. He's 245 pounds, and he runs like he's 185 pounds. But he isn't maybe too far off. I don't want to give you guys this idea that he's the next Derrick Henry, but he's that style of like, wow, what a great, rare blend of, just physicality and speed all at once. If it were up to me, though, I would go with Caleb Johnson, the running back out of Iowa. To me, I think he is a better blend of what you're looking for in that physicality punch and the speed burst as well. He played in Iowa's offense, which could not throw the ball to save their life. There were offenses in the 20s and 30s, pre-World War II, that were better air games than the Iowa Hawkeyes. So opposing defenses stacked the box every single Saturday. He averaged over 6 yards a carry. That would be my pick if it's not Ashton Jeanty. I want to combo these next two because they're the same player, and it's NFL.com's Lance Zierlein and then the PFF crew going with Colston Loveland, the Michigan tight end. Not a new name, but if you're looking for some type of pattern, his name continues to come up over and over and over again. 6'6", 248 pounds. He unfortunately did not do anything at the Combine outside of just meet with teams. He had a big sling around his arm from getting off-season shoulder surgery, so missed a lot of time in 2024 as a result of that. But if you go back especially to the 2023 tape when J.J. McCarthy was his quarterback, the guy put up 649 yards, 4 touchdowns, averaging 14 yards a pop. I know we're all tired of hearing it, but if you're looking for a joker tight end, someone who can be a threat with the ball in his hands, that's Loveland. For how big of a target he is, he's an NBA player out there that is running around like a slot receiver. And that's something that I could see Sean Payton just falling in love with. So I continue to have the belief of plan A is a pick of either Jeanty or Warren. And then plan B, we'll say, is Colston Loveland. So how bad does Sean Payton really want a joker? Like, is he willing to take one of those three guys? Not willing, but, if one of those three guys is not there at pick number 20, does he reach on a different running back like Omarion Hampton, who may not be a reach, when we look back at things, or a different tight end? But I think I speak for a lot of us when I say, when it comes to the top 3 joker candidates in this draft class, it's Jeanty, who I think is a sneaky good receiving back. Just did not get the chance to showcase that at Boise State, because why would they throw it when they could just run it for a lot of yards? Jeanty, Warren, and Loveland. If all 3 are taken before pick number 20, does Sean Payton go, I don't care about our board and our rankings. We are taking a joker no matter what. Even if we have a round 2 or round 3 grade on him, I want to get the next joker, the next best joker possible. That's what I'm very curious to find out in April. Name a great Broncos draft pick, though. Let's end with this one here. We have my preference, too. I want to look at that as well. My top 5 preferences for these players right here. So let's take a look at that right there, because while you guys are thinking of a great random Broncos draft pick, we'll really, put a bow on the draft segment by looking at my preferences of the 5 guys who I really have my eye on. At number 1, it's Ashton Jeanty. At number 2, it's Tyler Warren. At number 3, Colston Loveland. Number 4, I'm going to go with Walter Nolan, the defensive tackle out of Ole Miss. I think he could be a long-time force for Denver on the interior defensive line. And then at number 5, I'll go with Nick Emmanwori, the South Carolina safety. But circling back, name a great Broncos draft pick. I'm going to just fire from the hip here. I kind of want to go back in time. Okay, I got one. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Von Miller. You probably thought I wouldn't go that surface level and that I would go deeper than that. But no. Thinking 2 steps ahead here. Give me Von Miller for a great Broncos draft